Chemsters, this is your notes for 2.4 halogen substitutes. This will be really short. And again, if you ever have any questions, just let me know. Write them down and we'll discuss them next time I'm there. Again, hopefully your Leia notes really set the foundation for what we are doing here. And so this is just a continuation. So we're just adding different types of substituents. In section 2.3, your branches were always made up of carbons. So we had methyl, ethyl, propyl, butyl, etc. And in section 2.4, we have halogens. That's your group 17. So I'll make this quick for you. So let's go. So halogens, you're going to change the fluorine, chlorine into the ending of an O if it's a branch. So F would be fluoro, F-L-U-O-R-O, chloro, bromo, iodo. Okay, so that could be a branch. And again, the same rules would be applied so that whatever comes alphabetically first will be the ones that you write down first. Roman numeral 2, the R is uses a general symbol for any alkyl group. So that would be any carbon group. So here in letter A, we just have like an alkane, maybe an alkene, alkyne, a cyclo. A letter B, we have an alkyl halide. So if you go back in chapter 1, you look at your functional groups, you'll see that alkyl halides is indeed a functional group, okay? So it says, give the IUPAC name for that structure there. So same rules apply. You have to find your longest chain of carbons. And in this case, it looks to be 3. And then you have to number it so that your functional group, in this case your bromine, is on the lowest number. So you'll have to number it, and I would do that right now, is the far right carbon is carbon 1. The middle one is carbon 2. Your far left one is carbon 3. So where is your bromine? It's on carbon 1. So you would name it 1-bromo-propane. What about the next one? Well, you have how many carbons? Be very careful. You have only one carbon. The other letter C goes with the chlorine. So be careful. That C with the chloro is not a carbon for a longest branch. It's a chloro. So you have only one carbon, so it's going to be a methane. So you have a chlorine and a fluorine, and actually you do not need to number them because it has to be in carbon number 1 if it's a methane. So you're just left with, well, what comes first alphabetically, chloro or fluoro? And I think you'll figure that out quickly, that it's a chloro. So it becomes a chlorofluoromethane. So problem number 3, go ahead and draw what you think it's going to look like. Go ahead and take a few minutes out. I'll pause. Okie dokie. So in letter A, I would have drawn 3 carbons. And on the first one, you can make it on the left or on the right. I don't care. Put a chlorine on it. Letter B, again, you have 3 carbons. That propane tells you 3 carbons. And you put it on the middle one. So on the middle carbon, you put your chlorine. Now, the next one, we have a 3,3-diiodopentane. So your longest chain is 5. And the number at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you'll find out 3 is the middle carbon. And then you put 2 iodines coming off of it. Letter D is kind of a fun one. We have a butane, so draw your 4 carbons. And I would do left to right. You're allowed that. Make it easier on you. But notice the order. 1 bromo, 2 chloro, 2 fluoro, 3 iodo. So it's an order because of their alphabet, not necessarily because of their numbers, okay? So draw your 4 carbons off the first one, draw your bromine. Off the second one, draw a chlorine and a fluorine. And off the third one, draw an iodine, all right, an iodine. Okay, so number 4, go ahead and do number 4. All right, in letter A, your longest carbon chain is 3, so it looks like 2-fluoropropane. Now in letter B, you got to be worried about what's going on as far as those parentheses goes. So what that is, that carbon to the right of the parentheses is where I begin, and I put 3 carbons around it. So really what's going on is you have probably one of the carbons is part of the longest chain, but the other 2 are going to be branches. So I already know you're going to have 2 methyl groups, so you have a dimethyl. So let's see if you can see my mouse again. So you're going to have 1 carbon, 2 carbons, 3 carbons, 4 carbons, there's a chlorine, 5 carbons. So if you were to number it left to right, you would have 2 methyl groups on the 2nd carbon on the left and a chlorine group on the 4th carbon, second one on the right. So you need to have the lowest set of numbers. So you have a 2, 2, 4, so you gotta go that way. But chlorine is written first, or because of the alphabet. Excuse me. So you have 4-chloro, 2,2-dimethyl butane. Did I say it right, or is it pentane? I already forgot. Let me try one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is a pentane. I'll try it again. So it's 4-chloro, 2,2-dimethyl pentane. I was right. So at number 5, I really like this question. So go ahead and draw both 1,3-dichlorobutane and 1,3-dimethylbutane and see what's going on and answer the question. I'll pause again for you. All right, so I don't know if you had a chance. If not, pause it, and then when you're done, listen to me. So if you did the 1,3-dichlorobutane, there's nothing wrong with that. But there is definitely something wrong with 1,3-dimethylbutane, because what happens to that methyl group on carbon number 1? It becomes part of the longest chain, doesn't it? So actually, when you drew out 1,3-dimethylbutane, your longest chain was 5 now. Look at your picture and see what I'm talking about. So the correct answer would be, I believe it would be 2-methylpentane. Okay, so you cannot have a methyl group off of carbon 1. You cannot have an ethyl group off of carbon number 2 because it becomes part of the longest chain. But you have no problems with the chloro, the bromo, or anything like that, the halogens, because they're not going to be part of the longest chain. They're not carbons, okay? All right, and then go ahead and answer number 6. And I think that's the end of this video. I don't know if you've noticed, but I think I left out a little dash here. So if you'd made a little dash between the chlorine and that V part, that would probably help out. So your longest chain is going to be 5. How do I get 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so it makes like that point, like a pencil point pointing down where the chlorine is. That's your 3rd carbon. So we have a fluorine, a chlorine, a bromine, and what's this? This is an ethyl group. So we still have to do it alphabetically. So what comes first alphabetically would be the bromo, I think. Yeah, it's a bromo. And now we have to decide, well, because I have a branch on carbon 2 here, but if I go the other direction, I have a branch on carbon 2 here. So how do I number it? Well, you're going to have to number it this way. Ready? Make the top right be carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? Because you have the bromo and the fluoro equidistant from the end. So you have to take the one with the lowest alphabet to know how to number it. So it looks like it's going to be, hopefully I get this right, 2 bromo, 3 chloro, 3 ethyl, 4 fluoro, pentane. Okay, do you want me to say it again? I'll do it one more time, make sure you get it right. So I have 2 bromo, 3 chloro, the ethyl comes next because E comes before F, So it'd be 3-ethyl, 4-fluoro, pentane. Okay, I hope that helped. I think we're done. Yep, because now we're going to do physical properties next. So go ahead and start working on your homework now. Bye-bye.